Jerry, what's up? How many are we going to get tonight? Christmas Eve. James, hello? Off to a good start. Lisa, hello? Michael, how you doing? David? James? I'm ready too. I'm ready for anything. Linda, hello? Mike? I'm going to give it a few extra seconds here to see if we can get a few more in. Lisa, hello? Merry Christmas. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Swampwatch, Christmas Eve, 12/24/19. Mike, how are you? Santa was in Iceland 10 minutes ago. All right, he's on schedule. Hmm. Maybe he can bring some SEAL teams and drop them on the Clinton compound and the Obama compound. Rita, how you doing? Okay, guys, I want to start tonight on Christmas Eve by mentioning a couple of people, thanking them. Jamie Sanders um, got a hold of me. I think it was like September, October of last year. And we talked a little bit, and she'd been following my post, and was involved in a couple other groups that were doing live chats. And I had never considered doing something on camera. I was doing everything over my post. And she's talking about doing live chats, and I'm just thinking in my head, I don't know anything about computers. I'm thinking, okay, well, we would just text back and forth with whoever was interested in what we were talking about. Well, 2 days later, we did our first live chat, and I didn't know until the day of that it was going to be on camera. And thank God I had a smartphone that had a camera in it, and that's how we started this thing. Um, over a year ago, and the idea originally was to um, do one a night until Hillary was arrested. That was the whole premise of why we started this thing. Uh, and we went every night. We made it up until uh, March 13th. So I don't know how many, it was 140 something straight days we did this every night. But on the 12th, I had my hemorrhagic stroke during a live chat. And so we missed a little bit after that. I think we missed a couple of weeks, and thank God, I'm back doing them every night. But it was kind of spotty there for a couple of months. And then I don't know how long it's been now, but it's been several months that we've gone every night again straight. I might have missed a day when I was on vacation in September. But anyway, I want to thank Jamie, because we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for her getting me started. And then Scott and Simona, who are members. Scott is the one who actually developed our website, which is beautiful. I've had several websites built for different businesses. This is the best website I've ever had. So anybody who needs any kind of that kind of work, please get a hold of me or just get a hold of Scott. Awesome work, great people. I don't know. I was going to talk about, I wanted to finish up on what we were covering a little bit last night, which was the question. Oh, well, this is probably a good time to go into this. So for the new people, I had hemorrhagic stroke March 12th last year. So it's been 9 months. I have since now, I'm on permanent disability. I had some cognitive issues, mainly stuff with dates, numbers, and sometimes getting things crossed up. So if sometimes I'll get lost in a live chat, so just hang in there. I'll get back on track. I don't think, I hope a lot of people don't notice it that don't know me from before. But anyway, just it's a heads up that sometimes I'll lose my spot, and sometimes I'll get things crossed up. Most of the time, you won't even catch it, I don't think. I catch it sometimes later. But anyway, I just wanted to give people a heads up on that. Then, I usually do a page of notes, and basically just an outline of what I want to talk about. Tonight I've got like 2 pages, so we'll see how it goes, how long we end up going. I may cut it short if we go long and put some of it in tomorrow, and we are going to have one tomorrow too. Same thing, 5 o'clock. Boy, let's start. Let's start with, I guess, maybe along the same lines as the what we do here. Um, God called me to do this 5 years ago in 2014. Um, And basically, my job is to wake up and warn and get prepared as many people as I can in the any time we have left, whatever it is. It's been 5 years now and counting. Um, there's no training manual for this. It's just kind of been by the seat of my pants here and figuring out the best way I can reach the most people. And that was after we kind of got the Watchman page started. It was just natural to just recruit members to do the same thing so we could just magnify and multiply our efforts. And it has been amazing. I don't even know what the number is. It has to be in the thousands now of people that we've got ready, lives that we've changed. It's anybody that's here right now is here because you were recruited. You were either recruited by God or by me. I've kind of refined my techniques on how it's kind of a fluid situation on how I find people to friend, and then hopefully if they're interested, get them to the Watchman page and to be a part of this. For anyone that wants to do good, for anyone that wants to help others, which to me, if you're a Christian or a patriot, I don't think it's even an option, honestly, because this isn't some it's the most important thing that any of us could be doing at this particular time. It might be the most important thing in who knows how long for a patriot or Christian to do something and have the opportunity not just to do something, but to have a huge impact. The one thing I can guarantee is there'll never be another time in your life, and probably never another time in history, where one person can make this much difference. And there's over 1,500 just in the Watchmen, and with the other groups that were I've joined, we're probably at 30,000 now. You know, if everybody talked to 10 people, you know, those numbers, and then they talk to 10, and then they talk to 10. This is it's life changing for the people that we reach. The situation that we're headed into, the worldwide economic collapse, the draining of the swamp, and the exposure of satanic pedophilia, is going to rock the world. There's nothing in history that you can compare this to. It's man's greatest accomplishment. You can't, and I think about this a lot. I can't come close to anything else that's even in the same realm. There have been other important times in history, but nothing compares to this. This is the culmination of all of it. This is the ultimate battle, good against evil. This is where mankind finally takes our rightful place as the true rulers of this world. The white hats in the world take control. It's arguable the people are in control are even human. Um, I'll leave that for somebody else to talk about, but um, it would make it easier to explain the behavior, the the total evil, the the driving force behind virtually all the evil in the world. Look, the wars, the terrorist attacks, the school shootings, um, all these false flags are all driven by this group of globalists, and it's a big group. The wealthiest, most powerful people in the world, most of them, um, who have bad intentions for the human population. Agenda 21 on the UN website. You go to the end of the report, it's the treaty that Bush 41 signed, I think in 91 or 92, that basically they agree that they want to take the population of the world from 7.5 million today to 500 million in 80 years, less than 80 years. How do you lose 7 billion people in 80 years when the life expectancy is going up? You don't, unless you're going to exterminate them. And that's basically what these people have planned. This is all part of it. And this is what's playing out right now is the Armageddon. And it's playing out for the most part. And I think it's a good thing that it is, because overall, most people are not ready for this. I've talked a lot about cognitive dissonance, and it's going to be epidemic when all of this stuff comes out. That's why it's so important, because there are things that we can do to protect ourselves from what's coming. The biggest danger, again, cognitive dissonance, if this, and I don't think this is going worst case scenario. This whole thing has shifted from when I started 5 years ago. It looked dire. Obama was president, and he was, I knew then that he was running the most corrupt administration in our history. And Hillary was going to be next. And things were going south quick. I was thinking, we're going to win this battle, but millions are going to die. And here we are today on the verge of victory. And so far, I couldn't write a better script. And based on what I've seen over the last, 3 years of President Trump's presidency and the things that he's accomplished and the way this whole thing has gone, has been flawless. There's no reason for me to believe it's going to change from here. I'm getting no word that it's going to change from here, that we just have to keep moving forward. And it's already been decided. They can't change this. It's just a matter of the timing. When exactly is it going to happen? For most of us who have been in this thing now for years, we're tired. If it wasn't for the consideration of the people who aren't awake yet, I'd want this thing to be over 2 weeks ago. But every day that this continues, it's another day for us to get somebody else awoke, to get somebody else prepared. So we should look at it as a blessing and take advantage of it. These days are gifts from God. The prices on physical silver and Litecoin are gifts from God. There's no way, with the condition of the world economy right now, these prices should already be through the roof. Because, listen, it's obvious to everyone now that this economy is done. It's just a matter of what day is it going to go down? What day is it going to start that inverse action of everything collapsing? Stocks, bonds, pension funds, bank accounts, and then the opposite of cryptos and precious metals going through the roof. That's what's coming. Everybody is going to lose something. And this is if it goes best case scenario. If it goes, to my mind, best case scenario is, the economy collapses. It has to. It's a mathematical certainty. But there's no big loss of life. That President Trump's ready for this. And the key here is, guys, two things that are critical. That he keeps the power on. That means the water keeps running. He keeps food in the grocery stores. I think he's on top of that. And if he is, even the people who aren't ready, they may go hungry for bits. They may struggle, but I think they'll make it through it okay. The people that are prepared are going to thrive through this. The people who are prepared for this are going to come out on the other side as being the ones who are controlling the economy. We're going into the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. That's what we're going to see over the next year. I've said it before. I know millionaires who are going to be penniless in 3 months because they won't listen. They have lived and died by the stock market, and they're going to die by the stock market, financially at least. And that's their path. My job is to warn. If they want to ignore the warnings, I've done my job. It's between you and God now. All we can do is the best job we can. And if people aren't willing to listen, we go to the next one. Because we can't help unreasonable people. If they don't have a little bit of critical thinking skill or discernment left, they're going to have to fend for themselves. If they're loved ones, you're going to have to pick up the slack. If they're truly loved ones, you're going to have to buy extra food, extra Litecoin, extra silver. So you're going to be able to help them through this. That's all I ask, guys. I don't charge a fee. I'm not selling anything. I don't take donations. My rewards will come later. All I ask is, and all that God asks, is you pay it forward. Anything that you profit from what you learn here, you pay it forward. You pay it forward now by being a part of this and sticking your neck out and waking up your friends. And it is kind of sticking your neck out. Not as bad as it was 5 years ago, but it's still, you're open to ridicule, name calling. Trust me, we've been through it. We've lost virtually every friend we have in the Bay Area. We live 25 miles from San Francisco. You can imagine. Having said that, any of our former friends that hear this, there's no hard feelings. I expected this when I started. I knew what I was getting into. I feel sorry for the people who didn't listen. There's going to be people that come back and I'm sure apologize. And I welcome them back and I'll do anything I can to help them. The problem for them is they're going to miss the greatest opportunity, financial opportunity they ever had in their life. And that's going to be punishment enough for them, because they're going to see their other friends who did listen, who are thriving and able to pay it forward and help their friends. Well, they're in a different situation. God has a plan for everybody. Everybody's on a different path. Our job is the ones that are on the fence. Let's try and get them on our side, doing the things to protect themselves and their family. Extra food, extra water, medical supplies, ammo, physical silver and Litecoin. Those are the basics. And then you got to have, everybody should be looking at prepping sites, analyzing their own personal situations, where you live, where you're going to have to move to if things get bad. The planning, and part of, we talk about being mentally, physically, and spiritually prepared. The physical part is getting all the stuff together. And I think, too, getting fit is a good part of that. Now, we don't have a lot of time left, I think, but, in a worst case scenario, there might be situations where you have to walk. You may have to leave in a worst case scenario where you're at. And if the gas stations aren't open, the stores are closed, the gas stations are closed, the power's off. That's a dangerous situation, and dangerous to be on foot out in the open. That's why you have to plan these things now. The other thing that could happen, the communications could go down. So if you don't have, your group of people, everybody should be gathering a group, a tribe, to weather this storm with. You guys going to be talking about different options today. You can't wait until it happens, because when the communications go down, what happens then? You should have a plan. Well, if the banks close, we're going to meet here. If there's a tsunami, we're going to meet here. You've got to have, based on your area where you live, and your best guess as to what could go down, you got to plan for different events. And you may have different things you're going to do for different events. You got to think about those things now. You can't wait till it happens, because then forget it. The grocery stores will be empty in a matter of hours. You won't be able to buy any physical silver or Litecoin. And you won't be able to communicate, possibly. That's why you need to do these things ahead of time. Where was I going to go from here? So anyway, that's what this page is about. That's what we do here. The people that I have reached out to in the last couple of weeks, there's a reason that I reached out to you. I've gone through everybody that I've sent a friend request to. I've gone through your profile. There's a reason that I this isn't random. I'm looking for digital warriors. I'm looking for people that have already been in this fight and want to keep in this fight, with maybe tweaking the plan. That's what I think. There's a couple things we do differently. First is, I cover everything. Anything that is going to impact the average person in America, I cover it. If it's nothing that could impact us for the next 6 months, I ignore it. I'm totally focused on what it means, what these different things in the world going on, what they mean to you and me. If it's something like, we've talked about the election. Guys, don't worry about the election. Don't worry about the voter fraud. President Trump wins 90% of the vote in 2020. The Democrats, I don't know if they could think about this for a second. Before the 2020 election, the swamp is going to be exposed. The economy is going to collapse. the pedophilia is going to be exposed. Of all of the liberals, all of the Democrats that I know in the Bay Area, I don't know one of them that could vote for a satanic pedophile. It's not going to happen, guys. They're finished when this comes out. I was just, I was in some of the notes. One of I posted that that website that was snowflakevictory.com. That basically it's kind of a primer on how to answer the arguments from your snowflake friends at Christmas. And one of their big arguments about why you shouldn't like President Trump is because they have him on tape saying that he grabbed a woman inappropriately. Well, first of all, I heard that interview. And the way I heard it is he said, you could grab them if you wanted to. That's what I heard. I never heard him say he did grab a woman that way. It's irrelevant whether he did or didn't, because here's the problem for these snowflakes. They beat us to death for 3 years, over 3 years now, with how could you vote for someone who would do something or say something like that? Think about that. That is their big go-to. He said that thing, that he grabbed women inappropriately. There's a video on the dark web now. The New York PD got it off of Wiener's laptop. It's called Frazzle Drip. There's snippets of it that have been like still shots that have popped up on the internet. God, I don't even want to talk about this on Christmas Eve. Anyway, it's a horrific video. I'm not going to explain it because I'm not going to ruin everybody's Christmas Eve. It's horrific. Satanic ritual pedophilia, murdering a child. Hillary Clinton, torturing and murdering a child. How do they answer that? That's what I'm talking about with cognitive dissonance. Those people who've been throwing that in our face for years are not now. And here's the thing with this, guys. You're not going to be able to deny it. You're not going to be able to say it's a conspiracy theory. This is going to be on the worldwide news 24/7. You're not going to be able to hide from it. You're not going to be able to argue it. It's going to be in your face. How do you think those people are going to react? They're going to go into a nosedive of cognitive dissonance because everything they've staked the last several years on is blown up in their faces. Because not only is President Trump not a pervert, he damn sure isn't a satanic pedophile. And that's who you've been supporting for your whole life. Think about that. There's generations of Democrats and liberals that have been supporting these people 100%. And basically looking at us like we're a bunch of morons because we would support President Trump. It's going to be devastating. You know, you talk about karma, you talk about, it's like getting hit with a sledgehammer. That's what's coming for these people. There's no one listening here that hasn't had the fantasy of rubbing, when the time came, to rubbing a liberal's nose in the truth, in what's really going on. when they can't deny it anymore, when they have to accept it. We have to understand that, you know, it was an unfair advantage, because basically this cabal, this Illuminati that for hundreds of years has been working towards this end. You know, do you think it's an accident that the schools stopped teaching civics? That the schools for 60 plus years have been trying to dumb our kids down? Do you think that's an accident? It's not. And so what we've got here is a lot of people who think they're educated, but they're really brainwashed. We have to do God's work here. We can't have any hard feelings. We can't have any animosity towards these people. They're our fellow citizens. And we have to accept that they've made mistakes, as we all have. We're the lucky ones here, guys, because we're on the right side of this thing. There's millions of Americans who are on the wrong side of this thing, and they're all going to suffer through cognitive dissonance. Everybody's going to suffer through cognitive dissonance. There's nobody that's going to learn about this, and everybody's going to learn about it. Nobody's going to get away from it. I went through it. I knew about the pedophilia, but when I really found out about, there's 800,000 children a year in America alone that go missing. The CIA has been grabbing kids off the street for 30, 40, 50 years. And the FBI has been covering up. This is all fact. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is all coming out. It's not the sheep's fault. We need to take the high road here. We need to set the example. Unity is what's going to get us through this thing. The unique thing about America is what separates us from everybody else. Every time we're faced with a challenge, we pull together and we get through it, no matter what it is. And we're going to do the same thing now. We have to have an open mind about this. We have to have an open mind about everything. We talked about it last night. Critical thinking skills, discernment, and an open mind. Because there are going to be things that pop up that I haven't seen coming, that nobody has seen coming, and we've got to be ready for them. We've got to be ready to kind of think things through. Keep an open mind. Don't think just because you haven't seen it before that it's not right or it's not real. Critical thinking skills, discernment, open mind. It's going to be important these next couple of years, guys, to get us through this. And doing God's work. Paying it forward. Warning as many as we can. Getting them prepared in whatever time we have left. And I don't know how much more longer this can go, guys, because this economy is... They're talking about $1 trillion. So in the bailout, we've got the two things going. We got the swamp on the verge of draining. We have the economy on the verge of collapsing. I think the two things happen within a couple of weeks of each other. We'll see. There's nothing holding this economy up. It's ready to blow. So how much longer can it go? I don't know. I don't think weeks. Like I was saying, in 2008, the bailout was $700 billion. And that bought 10 years, bought us to today, right? They're talking about September, from September to January, first part of January, $1 trillion they have to dump into the system just to keep it rolling. The problem now is that, and here's the thing. We went from, I think they started 100 billion in September, and we're up to where they're going to have $1 trillion dumped in basically 3 months. What's it going to be in January and February? The problem is they can't bail fast enough. The ship is sinking, and the pumps aren't working, and the thing's about ready to go down. And there's no telling exactly when. Nobody knows but God. So we just have to be ready. And we have to use whatever time we have left the best we can. Okay, let me move it along here. We're going to be here all night. Oh, along the same lines as our website. I've been asking now for a couple of weeks. Scott, who was handling all of our uploads, so we've got the Watchman page, we've got a Watchman YouTube channel, and the website, the Watchman website. What we need is a couple of volunteers that can help upload the live chats and a few articles and videos to the website, and then the live chats to the YouTube channel. And I know nothing about computers. My problem is I am buried. I don't have enough time to do what I'm doing. So anybody who has some time that's a little bit computer savvy, who can donate some time every week, a few hours even, please get a hold of me, message me. I've been posting my phone number. You can call, text, or message me. We could really use the help, guys. We're way behind on getting stuff uploaded, and the more information we have out there, the better it is for everybody. Oh, and going back to the how do you know if you're awake or not? The thing to me, and why I do this virtually every waking moment of every day, is because I think I'm pretty as close to fully awake as you can be. And when you're fully awake and you see everything that's going on in the world, I can't do anything else. I can't justify doing anything else, because there's nothing in the history of mankind, there's nothing more important than taking down this swamp. And one of the biggest things holding it back is what they don't want. What President Trump doesn't want is to move too soon and have too big of a backlash from the sheep that aren't ready. So the more people that we get prepared, the quicker this thing can happen also. I can't watch a movie anymore. I used to love to watch football. I think I watched a quarter this year and didn't enjoy it and haven't watched it again. I can't, because I should be doing this until it's finished. That's being awake, because when you understand the magnitude of what we're dealing with, it would be like, to me, it's like knowing that you have a 300-foot tsunami coming in and you're going to have lunch on the beach. That's what it's like to me, seeing everybody walking around in this daze, having no clue that the tsunami's coming, and they're on the beach. I can't do anything else. It's driven me to do this all day, every day, every waking moment. That to me is being awake. Because if you're not to that point, you're missing something. I keep saying it over and over again. I can't overstate the importance of this 10-year period that we're right in the middle of in the history of the world, in the history of mankind. Going to be the most studied time in history. Thousands of books, hundreds of movies. It's going to be the most analyzed by academics. It's going to be our greatest accomplishment going into man's greatest age. There is nothing to fear from what's coming. At this point where we're at, we should be celebrating because the victory is ours. It's just a matter of timing. We just have to keep pushing. And the harder we push, I think, the quicker this is going to come. So, I think I better stop there. I'm going to be here all night. Just let me see if there's anything more important that I want to hit. I think I got all the high points. Okay, let's see what we got for questions. Paul watched a documentary on Vincent Fusca. I recommend everybody, for those, I'm pretty sure most people know here, but Vincent Fusca is the guy who's been attending the Trump rallies, who is reported to be, or some people believe he is, JFK Jr. I think everybody should watch, go to Jennifer Mack, excuse me, she's got several videos. I'm not sure if this one that Paul's talking about is one of her videos, the documentary, but she's done a couple of really good ones on Vincent Fusca. There are two Vincent Fuscas, just so you know. One's a little bit taller. There's talk that one of them could be a cousin and the other one actually is JFK Jr. I, for one, believe it's true. I believe there's a lot of evidence to show that JFK Jr. didn't really die in 1999. The story is that he was warned about a plot. They were going to try and assassinate him because he was going to make a run at the same seat in New York, the Senate seat, that Hillary Clinton ended up getting. They knew, the globalists knew, that with him getting into politics, that he eventually was going to get in their way. They knew how prominent he was. He was like the golden child of the Democratic Party. He would have crushed Hillary Clinton in an election. She wouldn't have stood a chance. And they knew it. So they plotted to murder him. Got wind of it. That night, that flight, just look at the video, look at the evidence. There's a lot of things that don't match up. I am one who believe that he's alive, and if he is, just think about that. Think about him showing up, JFK Jr. showing up at a Trump rally and explaining his story to the world. You know, there's some people that think that it's the mother of all bombs. It would be huge. And just think about this. Think about if and Mike Pence is out also. So think about if JFK Jr. really is alive. You know, him and Trump were very tight. If he was President Trump's running mate for 2020, wouldn't that be something? Blow the world away. It'd be amazing. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, watch the documentary and go to Jennifer Mack's page on YouTube too and check it out. There's some good watching. Okay. Well, good thing is we don't have a lot of questions tonight. Let me see. Or did I miss some? Yeah, I, I don't, with everything going on, with everything that's going on um, with the economy, with everything that's going on in Washington, the impeachment, um, with Barr, with Durham, with the globalist worst nightmare, which is Admiral Rogers working with Durham. Um, I don't know. This whole thing. Any day, days or weeks, guys. We're not talking months or years. We're talking days or weeks. Okay. I think. Hey, that's not too bad. I think all the questions. Wait a minute. Mike bought a bunch of Buffalo rounds. Good job, Mike. Those are generic silver rounds. For those of you who don't know. Yeah, right. Not many people listen to Noah. Well, and hopefully we're not going to have as devastating a event either. Yeah, it's all the news is good, guys. It's the only thing that eats me is that the longer this go, the more kids that are exposed to this stuff. That's the only downside. Well, and it's a huge downside. I mean, I've said that's why I had my stroke because it just ate me up, knowing that this is going on every day, and these people are still walking the streets. When the swamp drains, it changes everything, guys. Virtually every conflict in the world for the last 250 years has been caused by this group of people, by this cabal, by this Illuminati, the globalists. And it's all coming to an end. I can't say it enough. It's our greatest accomplishment. And we're there. It's over. They've got nowhere to go. President Trump has crushed them on every level, at every turn. Everything he's touched has turned to gold, and everything they touch turns to garbage and gets dumped in their lap. They can't win. They're fighting against our greatest president who has God guiding and protecting him. How do you win that? They don't. It's done, guys. So enjoy the moment and let's keep fighting. Let's finish this thing. I'm going to end it there for tonight, guys. Remember, fear not. God and President Trump are 1,000% control. I'll see you tomorrow at Christmas, 5 p.m. Pacific. God bless.